Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Reset Podcast. I'm your host, Laura Mignot, CEO of the experience agency D-Flash. This is part of my 29 Days of Magic series, where I get to interview a phenomenal Black woman every single day, the month of February for Black History Month. And this week's episode is no different. I'm super psyched to have Camara Aunique, who is a professional makeup artist, beauty advisor, and entrepreneur. And we're going to have a great conversation about how she got here and what she's up to next. Take a listen. Hey, Camara.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Super psyched to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I feel like your answer's going to be great for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, Camara, what was your first job?
My first job, like as a child, like growing up?
Any job you want.
I'll say my first job was working in the volunteer office at Downstate Hospital with Mrs. Spencer.
That's hella specific.
I will never forget that. I was working in the volunteer office, and it was an experience. It was a really good experience.
You got to learn how to deal with people.
How to deal with people. I learned that the hospital jobs were not my thing.
What you didn't want to do.
Yeah,
yes.
like I used to skip walking around the morgue. Like I would walk the long way just so I don't have to go through.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was a lot.
How old were you?
I was probably like 15.
Oh my goodness.
15, 16, like 16 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, no works for me.
No.
We're good.
Mm-hmm.
We learned we don't want to.
Yeah, but it was volunteering, so it wasn't paid, but it was awesome. You know, it opened my eyes to philanthropy and to giving back.
Yeah, and I know that it means a lot to you now, so
yeah.
It's pretty cool to see that. See, it all kind of ties back together. It always does, no matter what people respond to. Mm-hmm. The one that everyone sort of mentions always correlates to what they are up to now. So
yeah,
it's always fascinating to see.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a professional makeup artist. Yes. How does that even happen? Because I know part of the story, but I'd love for you to share it.
I mean, it happened because I've had people tell me I wasn't really good at it, so it was kind of something I had to prove.
Of course, you're like, I will show you.
Yeah, it was that, and then it became something that was like, actually, this is like something I enjoy doing, making women feel good about themselves, which is something I've always enjoyed about it. It honestly was one of those things that like fell into my lap. Makeup fell into my, I would ask people, I was working at Macy's Herald Square, and I would ask for help to learn how to do makeup. And I literally had to teach myself how to do makeup, how to color correct, how to apply foundation, how to apply a lipstick. I literally taught myself how to do it, and then
before there was YouTube.
I was not. I started makeup way before social media. It's been over 12 years. So yeah, it's been over 14 years actually. So it's been a long time, let's say. So it's back when we didn't have any social media. I had to literally teach myself. So I had like Sam Fine books, I had Bobbi Brown books. I was like learning from that.
And you figured it out. And then what was the break for you where you're like, okay, I think this is something that I can actually do as a career?
I was working at MAC, and I saw that a lot of people I was started with was leaving. And I was like, I want to do that. So my plan when I was at MAC was to create a clientele, create a list of people that I can work with. I learned that from working at Estee Lauder, actually, to create a clientele who would leave with you wherever you go. And so that's what I did with MAC. And I just became, that's when I was at MAC, Instagram just started. That was probably like 8 years ago. And so I literally would just build up my clientele, start posting on Instagram, start talking about becoming an expert at what I was doing. And then the work started flowing in, and I was like, okay, I could like exit. That doesn't mean I was like making bank though.
No, you were like, there are $4 here instead of $6.
I was struggling. Yeah, I was struggling. It was hard.
But you just knew that this is what you were meant to do.
Yes, I knew that I had to be on my own.
And what's it like being a professional makeup artist? Because I think the gift and the curse of Instagram and YouTube is they try to make it look as if it's so easy and that you can do anything, and everyone knows that that's not the truth.
Yeah.
There's more to it. So what's sort of your day experience now?
So now my day experience of how I've grown as an entrepreneur is more of taking more time for myself, making sure I'm taking care of me so that I'm able to take care of others. Also just being my best self. So it's just making sure as soon as I wake up, and I'm up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Good
so,
Lord, why?
Yeah.
You like that.
So just
mornings.
making sure I set time for myself, and then I go into like work mode of emails, following up with people, sending out invoices, making sure I'm getting paid, because I'm chasing people to get paid sometimes. And it's just more about being a better businesswoman rather than just going out for the money. It's more strategic than just like, oh, I'll do this. I'm not open to every job. I'm open to like what strategically makes sense for where I'm going.
And how did you get to that point where you were like, I'm not going to take everything. Like I have to be more discerning and more curated in my experience, because I know being an entrepreneur is always a hustle, and you have to make those choices. So how's that been for you?
I think that those choices, I was kind of forced into making those choices because I started noticing certain people didn't work for me anymore as clients. And as the type of energy that I needed around me, because it was making me feel like I was questioning myself and doubting my art and my work. And as an artist, I can't doubt myself when I'm working on someone. So I started seeing how people made me feel, and then I started distancing myself from said person, and that included clients too. And I had to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I had to literally say, okay, I'm going to lose out, but I'm also going to feel really good about myself, and I'm also going to be able to put more energy into my lash line, put more energy into something else, put more energy into the YMCA, where I'm on the board, and put more energy into things that like serve my needs and make me feel really good about me.
Wow. And, I think that's, it's so refreshing to hear, because I think oftentimes folks are like, go, 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 the hustle, this and that, or it's so glamorous, this, and you're like, if you don't find that balance, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And with you, so like obviously you get a chance to work with some celebrities, but like what's the kind of art and beauty that really makes you happy when you're doing someone's face?
I love when I'm finished. Well, I love the experience of when I first start and I give them like a face massage, and they're just like, when they like, when some people are on their phones and you could tell they're like stressed, but when I start touching them, they put their phone away and they're just like, that's the best part of my job, because I know that I'm actually like, my peace that I'm bringing is transferring to them, and they're like calm. So that's one of the best feelings. And then also when I'm done with the job and they're like, oh my God, I love the way I look.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what are some like, when you first started, like what were those tools that you found? Like, was it, okay, I need to get this perfect brush, or I need to get this initial foundation? Like what were those sort of initial kind of tools of the trade that kind of got you off and running?
I think it was more of just a trial and error. What I found out what works for me. I call myself the queen of the pack light crew. My makeup kit is super light.
Really?
Super light. I work with everything is compacted. It's easy. It makes sense, and it works for all of my clients. I have everyone's colors and powders, and I'm not hurting my back and like carrying a load of stuff.
You're not doing a big rolly cart that I see?
Nope, I carry like a good size, like square bag that's like this size, and so that came with trial and error. That came with like testing out, trying what works for me, what works for clients, what photographs really well. That also came with time of like doing red carpets and seeing what flashes better on the carpet and what doesn't, and knowing what just works and following it and just trusting what I know for me. And plus, I have the same clients, so I know what they're going to like and what they don't like. And if I have someone new, I let them know, like, this is the products that I use, but I'll probably throw in something extra if I'm going to do someone new, just to say, hey, I have an option if they rather something else. But most of the time, they trust what I say.
Because like you're the artist here, like
yeah.
they need to trust you.
Yeah.
So as you've kind of grown and become more and more successful, and it's been such a joy watching. A few years ago, the reason we originally met was that you did this thing called Ode to Beauty, which was one of my favorite events that we've done from DF, because it was just such a celebration of beauty, of Black beauty, and it sort of kind of resonates well with 29 Days of Magic. What prompted you to kind of go ahead and create that?
That was God. I literally had just found God at that time. And I was dead broke at home, and I was trying to figure out like if I was going to leave makeup for good. and I needed to figure out something to do. And this idea popped in my head, and we created it with I created with Nikki B and Justin, the photographer. I was living in the same building as Justin, so we did hair and makeup in my apartment, and then shot it upstairs in his apartment. And I called all my friends and clients, like Simone Mizik. I called Sharifa Says. I called Renee from Jeanne, and so many different women to come through and support, and everybody came through. And then we turned it into a gallery, and I wanted to just showcase them as art. I wanted to show them as art. I'm going to be doing it again, though.
No, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I think I think oftentimes when you hear a lot of Black female celebrities, especially, talk about how like the people who they have on stage behind the scenes do not know how to do their makeup, and it's such a frustrating situation because you're like, there's so many wonderful people out there who could be doing this, but like TV and companies just don't do it, and I'm just like, what? I don't get it. Like, why is it? Why do you think that's still an issue after all this time?
But that women don't know how to do it.
Well, they don't bring people like you behind the scenes to do makeup for shows like that.
Oh, for shows. I mean, I think it's changing. I think we're getting more opportunities. I'm open to the opportunity that's coming my way this year to get them to be on set. I think also a lot of. I think being on set is a lot. It sounds good, and it sounds like it's amazing, like to be on set, but then you find yourself just
12 hours
all day, So some people just choose not to do it. I've been on the hustle and bustle for like the past 8 years, like where I'm running after clients. So for me, I'm like, maybe I'll try it for a few years and see how it is and test it out. It's time to settle down. It's time to like build up the retirement fund, which going into the union does for you, which is amazing. And it actually gives me more time to work on my own stuff, because I'm sitting around a lot, so I could be handling business, So I just think it's the client that you are introduced to, and if they're willing to bring you on, and if they're open to bringing you on, or if you connect with someone that's on set and they're open to bringing you on too, Yeah, it's because there's a lot of Black women that's in charge of allowing people come on set, but it's not happening for us.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes how it is. So, what would you say is different when you have to go to do a red carpet look versus a woman who's going for a really important job interview? Like, how do you approach that?
I would say a red carpet look will be a bit more makeup, a lot more makeup actually. And a regular job interview would be just like a quick face. I probably wouldn't get hired for that. It'll probably be something that I'll do like a one-on-one class for someone and teach them how they can get themselves ready for like a 10-minute face or a 20-minute face to give them like a fresh look. But I've normally never hired for things like that.
Got it. So the 10-minute. How is it? What's a 10-minute face? What are those sort of like steps in that process?
I would say foundation, concealer, a setting powder, bronzer, a little blush, and mascara, and maybe like add one shadow to the eye, and fill in your brows.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Wow. One of these days.
Really good.
Yeah, because I feel, and concealer, always concealer.
Yes.
Really?
Always. I would recommend concealer all the time. I would, because it brightens up under the eyes.
Yeah, that's always dark in there.
Yeah, I recommend that.
For me, it's always a thing. So, you've had a good amount of success. What's been a challenge that's kind of come your way now that you've gotten to be successful, and how have you sort of overcome that?
I think the challenge is knowing how to scale a business. I'm learning that now, and how to grow it, and like all the things that we did not learn in high school and in college. I'm literally in that mode right now of like how to become an executive, because I've never really worked in corporate America. So how to be an executive is the challenge. How to be the CEO and the founder that I am, and that's what I'm working on right now. Like, I'm literally at a place where I'm like, I'm not going to be in this same place I'm at right now next year. Like, for too long, I've been sitting and been too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's time to, like, go into something else that I'm not comfortable going into, but I have to do it.
Yeah, it's all part of the kind of growth process that we all have to go through as entrepreneurs. Because you launched the lash line, which was fantastic. And so what made you prompt you to do the lash line?
God.
Yes.
Yes. It really was. I know it sounds so cliche, but he it was something that was like, you're the girl that was always made fun of for your eyes. So what are we doing now? Let's do this lash line. And it was like, okay, I want to talk to, and that's that's the story I need to start telling more. Is like, I was that girl that was made fun of for my eyes. I want to reach out to women that were often forgotten, which is women that lost their lashes due to cancer or alopecia, and just want to feel beautiful. So my lash line is not the extravagant, big, crazy over the top lashes. They're natural lashes for everyday women. So you could pop them on even if you're walking the street and you just want to put on a quick lash and you maybe don't have any mascara. And then I give you tips on how to apply them so that they're easy for you to like apply. And if you follow the tips that I give,
you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. If you
listen.
You know, so I did that with Ava DuVernay. We did a how-to video, and she was like, I only got it because you were here. And I'm like, trust me, just try it. You got this. You know, and she did it. You know, so it's just, the lash line is just more about just making people feel good that often don't get to feel like they're like part of the beauty industry.
Well, you know, it's so lovely. I think, you know, people forget that like getting your makeup done and putting on a good face is something to be celebrated, and not like that you're trying to hide. Like you just want to feel good and feel a little bit different. Why not do it?
Yeah.
Like that's the beauty of what makeup's about. And so that's interesting. So kids made fun of you because you had
big eyes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, kids are kids. Kids.
I mean, it was also in like high school too. So I mean, I would say we were like pre-adults by then, but yeah, I was made fun of for my eyes, like, for my whole life. Yeah.
And you're like, okay. Well, you know, it's interesting, like, you know, so you designed a product to help people who may not feel good about their eyes. I designed a business for people who don't feel welcome because I was always a shy, awkward kid. So it's always sort of the entrepreneurial journey that you end up building something for other people because you remember what that's like. And that's oftentimes why it's always so good, because it's coming from a place that authentically means something to you. Like you've got a memory that sticks with you, and you're like, okay, so what can I do so other people don't have to have that memory?
Yeah.
And so that's beautiful. So I know that you've also gotten into the nonprofits and charity world, and you're in the board of the YMCA. So tell me more about this.
Oh gosh, boards. You know,
because they're boards.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and it's hard because it's like I'm also one of those. I'm an entrepreneur, so my give and get comes out of my pocket. So it's not
right there with you, girl.
Yeah, so it's not like you know, a company matching it. So I'm just trying to be the person that I needed when I was growing up. That's my goal and my purpose is to be who did I need as a child. You know, I didn't see many brown faces on boards worrying about what was happening for the YMCA that I was going to growing up. On top of it, the YMCA that I was going to when I was growing up was too expensive for my mother that she had to take me out. You know, so I'm just like, how do I provide an opportunity for children like myself to have the experience of the Y, to be able to go and to meet people like me that's 34 years old and just want to actually like teach them something or show them that you could actually get out from where you're growing up and you could be everything that you've ever admired and desired to be, you know. So I'm grateful for the opportunities that I have to serve on the board and also be like at different events that they have where I get to meet people and children, and it's good. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, no, I think that it's so good to be a part of those programs. Like I sit on the board for a schools here in the city, and when the kids see you. And they see you, and they're like, "Wait, okay," because like I don't wear a business suit to work, and like I have this kind of funky, unusual job, and it looks kind of cool. But like they're like, "Oh wait, I can do that," and it means so much for kids to see that, and I think because there's so much they could see. And you're like, well, no, I'm actually physically here. Like, this is what it looks like. You can touch it. And you're accessible. And so, one other question for you is, so I know that you found God.
Yay.
So, I'd love for you to sort of kind of take us on that journey.
Ooh, child.
Short version.
Yeah. It's been 3 years since I found God. It's been 3 long years, and I think that the way it happened, it's been 3 long lonely years, because it's like trying to find people that understand what I was going through and what I was experiencing, and I think that's why he's setting me up to like be that person that's going to be able to touch others and share my testimony with others and provide a way for people to feel comfortable and safe, because I feel like a lot of people feel uncomfortable and safe in the Christian world, which is things that I've experienced as I've come up as a Christian, which is like, are you really Christian? Some of y'all are not, because God is love, and a lot of people don't move with love. So I think I'm just in a space right now where I am just learning more about the characteristics of God. And I think that's what people need to do, is understand the characteristics of him. Because if we understand his characteristics, then we'll have no doubt about what he can do. And building my intimacy with him, and just really asking him to help me trust more, so that I can be as much as I can be to help others that's dealing with the same thing I've dealt. I found God through some real intense, I got scared to Christ. Let's say that. I experienced something that scared me, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go over here and stay on this side. I saw powers and principalities face to face, and I think that people dabble in things that are not of God, and it's kind of, and I get it, you may have your own experiences that you want, but I just know that I tried it too, and I'm like, it's not working. It's not going to work. Just go straight to the source. And so my thing for the past 3 years is just understanding the source and understanding who he is and understanding why I went through what I did, and isolating myself so that I can get to know me, so that I can come back into the world and be like, well, this is who I am. And not feel and not doubt it and question it.
Yeah, and that's a really beautiful way of explaining it. And because I think everyone has their own journey about what that means, what that guide means to them, and I'm always like, why are people judging? Like, what?
Yeah, then that's another thing I had to learn how to do too, because my first year I was like, all of y'all get away from me. you and your daddy too. Like everybody get away, And it was like, I was like, no. That's not it. That's not how we're going to do this. And so I had to like literally apologize to people. I've apologized to a lot of people like in the past year. And I didn't know myself. And now I know who I am. And so I'm okay with what you got going on. I just know for me, it doesn't work. And so you can do you, but just know that over here is love. And I'm always going to be here to love. But I'm not going to be a part of the certain things because it doesn't work for me. But I'm not going to judge you because I used to. I used to be like, boy, stay away.
No, it
was intense. Hard. It was a lot. Yeah.
And I think that, how you come to it is how you come to it.
Yeah.
And I think, what's interesting I've seen over the last few years is that more and more folks are being open about however they're finding what works for them. Mm. So whatever the spirituality, Christianity, whatever it might be, but then being open about it, and then be like, this is who I am. This is how I come to be me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to let that be.
Yeah.
And not to judge how other people are handling that, because I think, as we talk more and more about mental health awareness and burnout and the struggles that we all have, and especially when you're an entrepreneur, when, everything is so difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
And so when you have something that you can hold on to that kind of is your sort of guiding light and your abiding faith, it's what you need to survive this world. Like, it's not, and let people live and let live.
Let them be,
Like, whatever it is, like, just let it be. And I just hope people have something, because it's hard. It's hard out here in this universe.
It is. Yeah.
So what is next for you? So, like, you growing lash lines. What's up? What's
next is just growing as a businesswoman. And I was like, I've been looking for love for so long, and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna date my career. I've never actually did that. I've never actually just put 125. Like, I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna put 50 here, and then I'm gonna put another 50 here, and then I'm gonna put another 20 and 20 here, and I'm gonna join these dating apps and see if I can date 2 and find my husband. This is, and now I'm just like, no, we're gonna put all of this here, and 80% into and then I'll leave the 20 for self-care and love and myself and taking care of me and stuff. I'll leave that. No, let's say 40, 60, okay? Because I like to really take care of me sometimes. But yeah, I think it's just time to be honest with myself that I've made a few mistakes and how I can overcome them. That's where I'm at right now. So I will not be in the same place next year. Next year will be a different story. Hey girl, I opened an office over here in Midtown, and I have about 20 employees. That's my mindset right now. Go
ahead.
Go hard or go home.
Exactly.
Yeah,
listen, look,
around.
You just got to do it, because if you don't, nobody else will.
Yeah.
So it's so key. So we talked about your self-care. So what is the Camara routine to take care of Camara?
Okay, so I'm up at 5 a.m. I read my Bible, and I pray, and I worship God, and then I go back to sleep sometimes. I'm like, maybe I'll go back to sleep. Other times I get up, I go to the gym, and then I start my day. I drink a smoothie, I make a smoothie, I, stretch, I breathe. I sometimes just sit on my bed and just look at my view. Sometimes I just sit and I just stare outside and just look out, because my view is insane. So I just look at it and just take it in, and just gratitude of I'm just so grateful that I get to see the sun come up. Yeah, it's gratitude, pure gratitude. And then I love massages. Love to get a really, really good massage. And
what's your go-to place?
So no, I can't tell you that in New York.
Fine.
Or I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
But
right.
But I have a spot in LA that's amazing too, and I just like a place that has that they could just take everything out, because I carry bags and I'm also lifting my arms all the time.
Right.
So I just need to make sure every knot is gone. So I love to get massages. I love to do my nails and my hair. I love to get a new wig. And just put my wig on real quick. And I'm now at a point where I want to travel more. I've never really traveled as much as I would like to, because I will always have the fear of missing out on jobs, being a freelancer. So now I'm just I booked a vacation for August for my birthday, and I'm I had so much anxiety doing it, and I was just no, we're gonna push through. Yeah, I pushed through and I did it, and it's booked. It's done. The hotel, everything's done.
Cool. Are you going somewhere warm? I hope.
I'm going to Martha's Vineyard for a week.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
In August?
Yeah.
Oh, you will love it.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. And then I'm gonna do. My family is having a reunion in Grenada, so we're gonna do that. Yeah. So I'm just Yeah. So I'm just let's I'm ready to have a good old time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Putting Camara first. It's fantastic. See?
But now I could afford it too. So now that's why I'm
well, it's always the steps.
Yeah.
in the process.
Yeah.
So, of course, as part of 29 Days of Magic, we have a give or an ask as the thing that I have all of my guests this month say. So if there's something that you'd like to ask or there's something you'd like to give or promote, now's your shot, girl.
Okay, so I will promote my lash line, CamaraAUniqueBeauty. You can follow me on Instagram, CamaraAUniqueBeauty, and CamaraAUnique is my IG, Facebook. And I'm doing 20% off for the month of, when does this come out?
This week.
Oh, perfect. So for the month of February, we're doing 20% off to celebrate my 1-year anniversary.
Woohoo, you made it.
Yes, 1-year anniversary. So it's 20% off. Just use the code BDAY. So BDAY. And that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So we've got lash lines, makeup beauty madness, YMCA's goodness, and just all around fabulousness. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, Camara, it has been such a delight having you on the show.
You.
I mean, you just continue to inspire, and I'm always just like, oh, that girl's amazing.
Oh, really? Yeah. Thank you.
I watch. I pay attention.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. That's part of the reason I'm doing this. Is that, like, folks I've seen, and I'm like, people need to hear you. Yeah. And so that's why I'm doing this. And so I'm just like to get more folks just know that you guys exist. So thank you so much, my darling.
Of course, thank you.
Cool. So we'll put all the details in the show notes so folks can find you, get 20% off, and hopefully try out the lash line. Yeah. So, and that is our show.
Yes.